Hello, guys, and welcome to the Talking Sport Wales podcast. I'm here with Ashlea and Simon to discuss the NFL free agency. How are we, guys?
All
Thanks,
good.
I liked it. Coordinated goods. Yeah. So yeah, we're back. Obviously, we haven't been on the podcast since we did the Patriots one. Ash, I'll start with you then. It's been a bit more interesting for the Patriots since then.
Yeah, definitely. I wasn't expecting the free agency that we've had so far. It's not what we tend to do over the years, but fair play to Belichick and Kraft for getting out there early and getting those players in that we really do need. So yeah, I'm really happy so far. We've got the draft to go as well.
It's a great start, and obviously mixed emotions for you, Simon, with the loss of Judon.
Yeah, and to the former as well, which is a bit of pill to swallow, really, because they've been it's been a good little rivalry now in the last few years. But yeah, I think just the fact that he was originally a fifth-round pick, and I think they've always just been able to find a little bit of quality down in the lower rounds, which is always nice to see with the Ravens, really. But I think that the blueprint does tend to be draft, develop, and not overspend, really. So I've come to expect that they are quite frugal, really, when it comes to free agent, really. And then sometimes we're just going to have to accept that when they work on that basis, some of our good players may leave, unless some, and then occasionally keep the odd one or two here and there.
Yeah, because very quiet for your boys. I haven't seen any big news headlines for the Ravens.
Well, no, not so far. And to be honest, am I surprised? Not really, because they tend to like to be quite protective of the compensatory picks, really. So they like to sort of add and build those up, really, which. So if they get the losses, and only if they can pick people up that have been cut by other teams, which allows them to get around it without interfering with those compensatory picks, really. I always see it as a bit of a risk, really. And the fact that there's some clear holes at the moment, like wide receiver, and I think it's been a bit frustrating, really, that we haven't seen people like, Galladay's still on the market. I would love to bring him in, or T.Y. Hilton would love to bring him in. There are others, and I just can't see any of them landing with us, to be honest. And it'll be even Juju Smith-Schuster. So I would have thought, well, if there was a cap space, then I would have loved for the Ravens to have a pop at him. But so far, all we've got is Kevin Zietler to show for it. But it's better than nothing, I suppose.
Yeah, I just said that I've seen today that Schuster apparently linked with the Jets. So
yeah, well,
yeah, be interesting.
Good for the Jets, because obviously they've already got a quarterback coming in, as we know, in the draft, and they're spending that cash.
Absolutely, and they need all the help they can get at the moment, especially with everybody in that division getting stronger as we speak. So
yeah, definitely. I think the Jets, like you say, they're going to get a good draft pick now, get a quarterback, whether it's Fields or Lawrence, whichever one. That's the Jags pick first, I suppose. But I think they've got. Did they get Davis? Did they go and get Davis? Did they go to the Jets?
Yeah, Corey Davis has gone to the Jets. Yeah,
good pickup. So if they go and get Schuster Smith, I mean, they're gonna be, offensively they're gonna be good again. Well, take a while maybe to get there with the new quarterback, but they're gonna be on their way. Mm-hmm. I expect them to win more than 2 or 3 games next season if they go and get Schuster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously you like you said, your Patriots have been splashing the cash on tight ends, Ash, and
yeah, I know. I love that
as well for the Chargers, that they've replaced him with Jared Cook and Henry.
Yeah, I like Jared though. I think he's been a steady over the years and experience, so I think he'll be fine going there. But yeah, I'm buzzing with Hunter Henry and Smith now as tight end. It reminds me of the days when we had Hernandez and Gronkowski, and it's not only their ability to catch the ball, it's the yards after the catch, but also the blocking ability. I think that'll free Edelman up, it'll free Aguilar up. It's going to do that for us, and I think that's what we desperately need. So I think it's great that Bill Belichick's kind of gone back to that. So I can't wait to see how we all, it's going to take a bit of time for us all to get into that. Hopefully we can have a pre-season this year. Hopefully we can get some games in. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this offense goes. And Cam Newton, he's probably really excited right now, but there's a lot of pressure on Cam Newton because we've given him these weapons. He's going to have to throw the ball. He can't just run now. He's going to have to throw the ball because of the weapons that we got. So whilst he's buzzing with it, he's got to be some kind of pressure on him now to get that out of his hand and get the yards and get that get the ball to these players to catch.
That is true. Simon, there's been a lot of quarterback roundabout, of course, in the draft. Fitzpatrick going to Washington, and Dalton's gone to the Bears, and obviously Carson Wentz has gone to Indianapolis. What do you think of the quarterback moves?
Yeah, so far I think most of them have been they've been good moves for everybody involved. Really, I think probably the one that I assume is probably going to have the most success, really, because of what is there already in place is Wentz going to Indy, really. And although I'm really interested to see what Washington can do this year, because they've just signed Curtis Samuel as well, so they've got bags of speed with him, Terry McLaurin. And the defense was already really good, so they could probably shock people as well. So I think really, I think they're the team that's really done themselves good by making just little moves, and they've still got the draft to come as well. But I think in terms of whoever's going to go a bit further in the playoffs, really, I think it's going to be Wentz, because I think because Indy have still got a very, very strong defense, and they've not really had any major losses, really. People that can be replaced. The ones that I think that really stand out to me were probably Malik Hooker and Danico Autry, which are no longer there. But I think at the base of it, though, they've still got Leonard, they've still got Buckner, they've still got they've still got some really good pieces there. So I think Wentz is only just going to feed off that, and I think that because they've got some good young receivers there as well. So I think he's got all the tools to have a really successful season. But the same can't be said though for Dalton. I think Bears have got too many holes at the moment.
Yeah, they tried their best to get Russell Wilson, didn't they? But I think he was leaving Seattle for that.
Not without a king's ransom. So
that's true. Ash, another team who've been spending big. You said just then. Trevor Lawrence is probably going to the Jags. And they've spent big as well now in the off season. Probably Shaq Griffin from Seattle, the biggest name.
The Jags. I mean, again, it has to be Trevor Lawrence. You have to say Trevor Lawrence is going to be the number one field. It's going to be interesting to see how the Jags go next season. Quarterback last year, they obviously wasn't very good at all. Like I said, they've gone out, they splashed the cash, get Trevor Lawrence in, and I'm excited to see what Trevor Lawrence can do if they go for him. He's a quarterback who's been talking for more than a year. There's a lot of hype around him. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they go next season, and what they can do, and what Trevor Lawrence can do. I'm excited about watching this. It.
No, well, that's it. And it's always good. Like you say, we've seen the likes of Burrow and Herbert this year step in and have a fantastic season, both of them. So be interesting to see if he can follow suit. So I'm with who's left then? who do you think's the biggest one to come, or who do you think, I should say, who's done best in keeping their players? Who's this big standout of re-signing that we've seen from the NFL?
It's a good question, really, and I think in terms of I think despite the fact that Judon's gone, I think the Ravens have done some good work even under the radar to keep some of their people as well. So I think what's offset the loss really is, I think I'm really glad that they've managed to keep they've keep people like Tyus Bowser who can be moved around. Derek Wolfe was a huge one for me personally, because I think keeping him and Calais Campbell as well. I mean, they were one of the few teams that managed to slow Derrick Henry down last year. So I think that they're worth their weight in gold, even if they don't really show up on the screen every week. But it's all the dog work really, and so that for me is a big one. But I think for me really, for keeping the key contributors, really the other two that really spring to mind is Packers keeping Aaron Jones, and the 49ers keeping Carl Jusic as well. So it's nice to see that even in this bit of a pass happy league now, we're still seeing running backs having their value, and I think both of them bring so much to both teams.
Oh, you're right. And obviously the Buccaneers have managed to get
Buccaneers,
Brady,
absolutely, yeah.
A lot of that defense that were fantastic last year as well, haven't they? They've managed to keep them there. That's the big thing. I think Barrett re-signed as well, didn't he? Which was a big thing for them. But yeah.
And I think they've got Chris Godwin as well under the franchise tag as well, and Gronkowski's re-signed. So they've set up to make another great run if they can keep themselves healthy.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
Yeah, I read as well. Obviously, he's a good player, but you see how much money that the 49ers paid Trent Williams to stay?
A lot, wasn't it?
It was a phenomenal amount of money, to be honest. And you think for a guy that's, he's for an NFL player kind of point of view, he's at quite a ripe old age now, and he's had his injury. So I'm shocked the amount of money they threw at him, really. But I don't know. I feel like it's a big risk for them, and chucking all their eggs in one basket in some ways. So if he gets injured, then that's a lot of cap space that you've tied up with someone who may not potentially play.
Oh yeah, I think. But if you think about, we only paid 80 for Tooney there.
And to be honest, and it's a great signing for the Chiefs, because him and Corey Linsley were probably the top two centers in the NFL right now, and they've been paid handsomely.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was very happy that we brought him in. Sad news today, though, Ash. Obviously, Patrick Chung has chucked it in.
Yeah, gutted. I was looking forward to him coming back, and him and Hightower and Judon. Obviously, I think I was looking forward to having those three there, and we're going to miss him. I think he's what he's brought to this team and organisation. I think his communication with the rest of the team. He knows how to play the Patriots way. So to not have him there, yeah, it's a big loss. I'm gutted that he's going. I was hoping we were going to get one more season out of him. Obviously, he's chosen not to, and good luck to him in his retirement. I hope he enjoys it. But yeah, and I'm glad we've got Van Noy back now. But I'm gutted Chung's gone. I love Chung.
It was good you managed to get Van Noy back in there.
Yes, thought we would.
As soon as I seen he'd been released, I thought
he's a Patriots player, and he is. He's a Pats boy.
I think from what, even just to add to what even Ashley's saying there, I think with Chung as well, he was such a good player for setting the tone and for run stepping, things like that, and getting in receiver spaces and things like that. I think Chung was definitely up there with the best, really. So big, it's a shame, because I think Patriots really did miss him last year, and looking forward to seeing him again this year.
Yeah, and me gutted.
These things
Can't
happen.
have it all.
Yeah, no, the ones, like I said, I think I said to it the first day of the draft of the free agency when we were all chatting. I think big move for Tennessee to bring in Bud Dupree as well, because he was brilliant last year.
Massive. I like the Titans. I'm a big fan of the Titans. I think they've got a great setup there, and for me, one of the best running backs in Derrick Henry. I love watching Derrick Henry play. I think he's just amazing. I think the Titans again can definitely push. They could definitely be in the playoffs again. And they're a team, like I said, I really do enjoy them, and I'm looking forward to watching Washington. I got a soft spot for Washington. They're kind of my second team, so I'm really happy with what they've done. I think they've got a great setup there. I think defensively they're going to be up there. They brought in Williams now as well as in cornerback. I just think they're going to be defensively they're going to be really tough to break down. But offensively, you brought Fitzpatrick there who's just going to have fun. He's going to throw that ball, and like you say, Samuel's a great pickup. But you've got Gibson, who I think is a good running back. He can also catch the ball. McLaurin, we've got McKissick. I'm excited to watch Washington. I think they're going to be a tricky team to beat.
It should be a good conference this year. I think that one. I think
yeah,
the Cowboys will obviously be better this season. I think, especially now they got Prescott nailed down, and obviously Philadelphia. Who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah, they're going to get rid of Ertz. I'm a bit surprised by that. I like Zach Ertz. I think he'll be a great pickup. I'm hoping he goes to Washington. I hope Washington pick him up. I think that would be a great addition again to that offense. But I'm surprised to let him go. I think he's a great tight end. So I don't quite know what's going on with Philadelphia at the moment. But that's a big loss, I think.
Especially if you're someone like Hurts and, Wentz is gone. And then you think about who to throw into, and then you lose your star tight end. It's a strange one. Well, I think that's why Wentz went. He's now got some running backs that can run as well in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm interested to see how Wentz plays this year. I'm looking forward to seeing how he bounces back, I think, after all the bad press that he's got this last season. So that's interesting. I'm looking forward to that.
And I think probably even with and just to add to that as well, even with Wentz having them re-signing Marlon Mack, which was a great actually backup to Jonathan Taylor really as well, who probably surprised us all really considering how well he did in his first season in the league. So he's got a nice little tandem there, whereas. Yeah, with Philadelphia, the only reason I can think is that is with it, it's trying to accumulate picks, and so they can sort of restore the team a little bit. And plus, because he's probably getting on to later stages of his contract, there's probably got a lot of money tied up in him, which they want to get rid of. So, but other than that, why get rid of probably one of the very few targets you've got now? So I think for Jalen Hurts' sake, I'm hoping. I think he's probably hoping that they don't do anything with him.
Yeah, it's been one of them years, isn't it? You seem to see all of the older tight ends, as you would say, they're moving on, aren't you? Like say Jared Cook's gone from the Saints, and now you've got Ertz is on his way. Just them names that you just think are at that and Rudolph obviously left the Vikings as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
So all them guys you think are mainstays really in their team being told to get out. But,
I know.
Yeah, is a strange one. What do we think about Watson? We speak to someone on Twitter about it, and he seemed to think that it's gone now. He's lost his chance to get out. It's a bit too close for the Texans to get rid.
Yeah, I was hoping Patriots were going to go for him. I really think it was going to happen, but I was hoping deep down it was going to happen. But yeah, I think he would have gone by now. So Russell Wilson, if they were going to go, they would have gone by now. So I think Sean Watson's going to have to suck it up and get on with his job at Texans now.
Well, yeah, it's not like he's not going to have any offers in the next few years, is it?
He's got a long time left, a lot of big contracts ahead of him. So knuckle down, get your job next season, then see what happens.
If you are a Texan fan, though, it's got to be worrying, isn't it? You obviously lost DeAndre Hopkins. Deshaun Watson doesn't want to be there. JJ Watt's gone. It's a different Texans team now this season.
Yeah.
And it certainly is, and even with them signing Tyrod Taylor, who is to provide depth and it's more of injury cover, I would assume, because for me he's not a starting quarterback, and he's not someone who's going to be lead the franchise for the Texans, really. So they're literally just having him as just adding numbers to the team, really. Whereas I think you're both absolutely right. I think the window opportunity for Watson has probably gone, but there's nothing to say that he probably won't try and kick and scream to get himself out of Houston, really. And I'm almost a little bit puzzled why. Not to a certain extent, only because I would have thought he would like to have seen what David Culley could bring to the team as well, and a new coach as well. So new way of doing things. But yeah, as we've seen a bit of an exodus of some of the big players as well, and they're not really replaced them. So it's definitely a transition period for the Texans. So I'm not sure how much we should expect from them this year. I don't think they're going to have a fantastic season, unfortunately.
No.
I think we agree with that. It's not going to be a nice season for Texan fans, but apparently Galladay's just arrived in New York to speak with the Giants. So
good pickup.
Just typical. They'll all be gone, and we'll just end up throwing our hopes on something which on an unknown commodity, really. And it was like, I think it was like, even with the whole Mike Williams situation for the Chargers, and I thought to myself then, if the Chargers don't pick up his fifth-year option and they wanted to get rid of him, I would say Ravens, make an offer, put a proposal in, but they're so willing, not willing to budge in the market and things like that. And when it's just clear and obvious, and fortunately we just have to almost have to suck it up, really. So I always know that there's not going to be much activity at this time of year. Or he comes around the draft.
To have seen Schuster Smith at the Ravens. I think him with Jackson, I think we're a great link up. That's the one I would like to see. I would like to see Schuster Smith with the Ravens. I think that offense have just gone to a new level. I think she's a great wide receiver. He's so fast. He can make big plays. I think with Jackson as your quarterback, I think he would have just carried on. And the Ravens, they've got a stash of cash.
Yeah, they do, and they need the experience as well, because like Marquise Brown is our most experienced receiver now, because Willie Snead is gone, and we've got Andrews as well at tight end, but it's just not enough.
No, and I think Schuster Smith, he's there, or T.Y. Hilton even. These players, they can make plays. They will get you your touchdowns. They will get you your yards. They'll make those plays downfield. And with Jackson, like I say, as your quarterback, I think these players would just carry on. I think we'll just have a good season with him.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think the main point is, like Simon said, Marquise Brown, okay, he's good. You can go long to him, and he's quick, he's fast. But someone like Schuster, I've seen it so many times last year for Pittsburgh. When they weren't hitting Claypool further up the field, he was always in the small yards, the small gains, like an Edelman, like a Beasley, just gets you there.
He'll get you those yards, get the chains moving, exactly, and that's
he
exactly
will,
what. Yeah.
No, that is true. Also, one other thing I've heard as well, a lot of talk in San Francisco about who's going to still be their starting quarterback, Jimmy G or not, but surely there's not many left. I don't see any many quarterbacks around who could.
I know. I mean, there's also back to the Patriots. I mean, I thought that was going to happen at one stage. I think the talks have been ongoing for a while now with that, and I think there's no smoke without fire. So something's obviously going on. They signed Cam to a 1-year deal. And it's not a long-term deal. They don't see Cam Newton as their quarterback. I think Bill Belichick wouldn't mind Jimmy back as our franchise quarterback. But yeah, there's not many left there. So I think I've got a good quarterback there. If he can keep Jimmy fit this season, He took him on a Super Bowl run before. There's no reason why he can't do that again. I like Jimmy G. I think he's a good quarterback, and I think San Francisco stick with him and see how this season goes.
He reminds me too much like Jared Goff. Sometimes unbelievable, unplayable, and sometimes they go missing in games. They get hit and they don't want to know. That's
it's a consistency.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's what you want from your quarterback at the end of the day, isn't it? You know, you're not
going to win. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Actually, the one team I'm really am looking forward to watching is Stafford with the Rams. Now, I'm going to do Miss Collinsworth and say he is a guy who I think is absolutely. I think he's a great quarterback. He's got the numbers, he's got the stats, he's got the figures, and he can throw the ball. He can move that ball down the field fast as well when he has to. He's gone from a team where there's been no real consistency, a lot of coaching changes, and he's going to a team that has, for me, the best defense in the NFL. So he hasn't got to worry about that side of the ball now. He can just focus on his offense. I think with Cooper Kupp and things like that, I think Matthew Stafford's going to have. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do with the Rams. I think he can definitely take them quite far in the playoffs.
Yeah, I know Simon was really happy when they did that trade deal for him. But we talked a bit on Twitter the other day about them losing Michael Brockers. They've obviously traded him away to the Lions, and just surprised that was so out. You talk about Washington and their defense, but that Rams defense was mean, and losing Brockers. It's a strange one. Strange.
Yeah, it is, and as we said the other day, Rick, it just draws the attention closer on Donald, doesn't it? So they know that, okay, but with that Rams defense, you think, okay, and it draws the attention to Floyd as well, doesn't it? So it's just one less real threat that we're aware of with the Rams defense, and that could be the huge difference as well, because if people start crowding up on Donald and Floyd and things like that, does that mean their front seven is going to suffer? Really, I think that I'm sure it was probably for cap purposes, really, but I'm sure they'll look back and then think they're going to. Brockers is going to be a big miss for them. So, but hopefully they can offset that by having Stafford, who's for me, he was like a Brett Favre for me. He'll play through everything, and he's got the arm for it. So, I think if you've got someone who's more consistent on that side of things, maybe losing Brockers might be not so bad. But I'm sure it's going to be felt though.
No, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see, like say, if it does affect them this season. Okay, fine then, guys. Obviously, the draft is up and coming. It's not too far away now. Quickly then, Ash, what do you want to see out of the picks that the Patriots have? What positions do you need?
I think we need another wide receiver. I still think we need one more person on that offense. So I'm hoping we go for a wide receiver with our first pick, or somebody on the offensive line. One of those two, I'll be happy with.
Time Ravens, obviously no business now. What are you expecting there?
A lot, in a nutshell. But the longer answer is I think pass rush is number one priority for us. I think a new center is really required as well, and as Ashlea said, is a wide receiver as well. So I think. In that order, I think they have to sort the pass rush out first before we start worrying about everything else, because a modestly priced veteran might come available later down the road, maybe after training camp or later on in the season, which they seem to have an uncanny knack for. So I think they have to address those positions first.
For my Chiefs, I want a linebacker. No surprise there. I've been saying it forever. And then a safety or a cornerback. I loved Snead. He was amazing all last season, and obviously we got the Honey Badger, but it showed up especially in that Super Bowl game that we need someone else back there who can actually do something and deal with something different. So yeah, if we bring in a linebacker, I'm happy we've sorted out the offensive line issues. 2 guys brought in there, but. Yeah, linebacker and and a safety or a cornerback. And if a wide receiver does become available, like say later down the picks, who's got something about him, then I wouldn't mind that either, just to give us something different to what is already a ridiculous offensive line.
Yeah. Your offense is pretty quick.
You need to protect Pat as well. Need some O-line reinforcement.
Yeah, your offensive line you need, yeah.
Yeah, we got Tony and we got what's his chops. We re-signed him. I can't remember his name now to my head. He's gone. But we brought him back in to replace obviously Fisher and Swart. So
yeah,
I don't know. As long as a few of them guys, I never see him again. What's that sign?
Kyle Long.
Kyle
Yes.
Long.
Kyle Long.
Kyle
That's,
Long, yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
that's it.
So yeah, maybe bring another one in just so we don't have to play some of the guys who came in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd much prefer to have a linebacker come in to stop them, say them 10-yard runs that they were just chucking over us for fun.
Too easy, wasn't it?
Oh, unbelievable! Well, I've said it. I said it to Simon all along. Like you said, Gay had a good start to the season before he got injured, but then once he was out, there was nothing in the linebacker position. And against most teams, luckily we have the offense to outscore them. But when we come up against a good team, then they were struggling.
Yeah, they were.
The Chiefs to go heavy on D in the draft.
Well, I think so, mate. I don't see, we've got the running backs. We don't need anyone there. We got like I say, if you want another wide receiver to help that out, fair enough. But I'm not sure whether, I think Henne did sign a new deal, so we don't have to worry about a backup to Pat. And obviously, what's his shot? Buckner's an amazing kicker. So I think our offense is fine. Yeah, it's definitely defense that needs to improve. I've been saying that for years, so. Okay. Right. Well, okay then, guys. I think that's all of us for the free agency. I think we got through quite a lot of the moves and so far anyway. Let's hope there's still a few more to go before it obviously ends now that it is definitely free agency.
I want to add to Bill's revenge tour. Revenge tour. He's like, hello, Bill Belichick here. It's all about Tom Brady. So I think he wants to make a point really that, he was also part of that success.
Definitely, but I still think you're going to struggle against the Bills this year. I don't think they've got any weaker.
No, they're a good team, the Bills.
But, you might be eating your words, Rick.
Maybe. Who knows? Hopefully, I'd rather it be a bit more competitive up there. They run away with it. So, as long as our division isn't competitive, I don't really mind the other ones.
I know my division is really tough. I mean, if you look at Dolphins, and now you've got the Bills, and you've got Jets making moves. I think you've got Bill doing what he's doing. Not doing anything by doing all this, but yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be good.
Definitely. Okay. Well, cheers, guys. It is going to be good. Like you say, we'll probably be around now when the draft happens just to discuss that. But then obviously we've got a long wait then till September when it all kicks off again. But thank you for joining me as always. Ash and Simon, for our viewers, obviously follow us on our social media pages. It's on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. Follow us on YouTube at Talking Sport Podcast Wales. Make sure you subscribe to the website, and that's how you will get our viewers going forward. But yeah, like I said, as always, cheers both. And like I said, we'll be back. It's not too long to the draft, so we'll be back then to discuss it.
Awesome.
Thanks, Rick. Speak to you then.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.